Hello, gorgeous soul friends. Welcome to my channel, Madame DeVaux. Thank you so much for tuning in and for allowing me into your wondrous experience today. So this is going to be the final video in a 4-part series titled The Energy Body, where in each video I've gone over the different components of the energy body and how to maintain them. This particular video is not going to be about a specific component of the energy body though. It's going to be about the art form of energy healing. And before I start, I just want to say that this video does not substitute professional one-on-one training with a master healer. This is just getting your feet wet so that you can learn what energy healing is and the basics of using it so that you can start healing yourself and your loved ones today. Because I mean this wholeheartedly when I say that the human form was intentionally crafted with restoration abilities. Every single human being on planet Earth has the ability to heal themselves and others. Even though we're all gifted with the ability to restore our vital functions back to health, this guide is not a replacement for the necessary training that comes with getting certified. If you're looking to be a professional energy healer, this is a great resource, but this video will not leave you with the mastery that comes with the certification. So just like anybody on YouTube can go and watch a crash course video on any mainstream subject, but in order to get hired and paid for that particular field, there's often specific certification and licensure that's required. I mention this because this stuff is still not yet mainstream, therefore not regulated. So this often gets abused by scammers who are looking to make a quick buck. And this in turn leads to more skepticism and defamation of the subject as a whole. This stuff is very real, guys, and it's something to be taken seriously. There are laws set in place by nature that take care of people who abuse sacred wisdom. So I'm just giving fair warning here because let's just say Mother Nature is not as kind as Madame DeVaux. So backtracking to the subject of energy healing, despite the narrative that's been pushed by mainstream science, we are not these freaks of nature that just happen to evolve into these exceptionally advanced creatures. I discuss more in my Secret Human Origins video that Earth could be compared to a petri dish, and the conscious beings on this planet are varied forms of organic technology, with our evolution simply being an automated process where the tech upgrades itself in order to better thrive in its environment. And our healing abilities are just a result of this evolutionary process. We are much more powerful than we've been led to believe. And there's a reason for that. And I talk a little bit more about that in my occult suppression video, so if that's something that you're interested in learning more about, you can go check out that video. Let's talk about what energy healing is. Now, we all know that different types of vibrations are pretty much responsible for everything we perceive. Our bodies are similar to radio receivers in the sense that we can pick up on varying vibrations and extract necessary information, such as auditory signals from sound waves, or the ability to see our world around us due to light waves. Even physical touch. When someone touches anything, the particles themselves aren't actually touching because of something called electron repulsion. And that resistance, that repulsion, is picked up by your nerve endings, which is then translated to your brain as the sensation of touch. So, to put it frankly, your entire sensory experience is an illusion created by your nervous system. And humans are also composed of these same base vibrations. So not only are we detecting and extracting information from vibratory frequencies so that we can perceive our world, we are also emitting vibratory frequencies so that we can be perceived. And that's where energy healing comes into the picture. It's the act of adjusting these subtle vibratory frequencies so that they manifest differently. And therefore, the way that you're being perceived by yourself and others in the physical world will also be different. Along with our wondrous physical body, we also have an even more perplexing subtle body that is made up of electromagnetic energy. And I've made 3 previous videos breaking down the different aspects of the subtle body, so if you haven't already watched the first 3 videos in this series, stop this video right now, go watch those videos, and then come back. Because there's a reason that I broke down this segment into 4 different parts, and there's a reason that I put the videos in the specific order that I did. Because especially in relation to energy healing, you will not be able to understand energy healing fully until you understand the subtle body. So once again, go watch those videos first if you haven't already, and then come back and watch this video. I promise it will make so much more sense. But the physical and subtle bodies go hand in hand, kind of like yin and yang. If one is out of alignment, then the other will also be out of alignment. They are reflective of one another. When our physical body becomes sick or injured, it's a direct reflection of the state of the energy body. And this is also why sickness is referred to as disease, because it's a result of vibrational dis-ease within your energy body. And this energetic dis-ease is usually a result of unresolved traumas and wounding that festers and manifests in the related body part of that experience. A perfect example is heartbreak syndrome. There is often stress that comes with untreated heartbreak, which can actually contribute to cardiovascular problems and even death. The heart space in the energy body is directly linked to our intimate relationships, and it's also the reason why the heart is a symbol of love. It's all connected. All life on planet Earth is connected through a vast web of energy channels known as the collective consciousness. And I have a video talking more about the collective consciousness on my channel. I'll link it after this video. You can go and watch it in your free time if you haven't already. Each and every one of us is a different extension of this singular force. It runs all around us and through us, whether we're aware of it or not. It's the force that breathes life into our being. It's also known as Prana, Chi, or Orgone energy. And I have a video talking about Orgone energy. Once again, if you haven't watched the first 3 videos, go watch them. If you rub your hands together really fast, and then stop and hold your hands just a few centimeters apart, you'll likely feel this energy in the form of heat or small vibrations, like little tingles. Anytime you breathe, you're moving this energy throughout your body. And that's actually the basis of yoga, which is a more popular form of energy healing, where the movements and poses open and close different passageways so that energy can be directed to where it's needed. It's roughly comparable to a hydropower dam. And I wouldn't even really say that's the best visual. Maybe something closer to a plumbing network or a pipe network of any kind that contains opening and closing valves that can redirect the flow of liquid or gas inside the pipe. If you're a yogi, you've likely heard of the bandhas. And if you haven't, bandhas are essentially the act of just tightening certain muscles, certain muscle groups, so that you can retain energy in a specific area of the body. So the bandhas are acting as this opening and closing valve that is locking energy in a specific area of the body. As above, so below. Everything artificial is just replicating processes that are already present in nature. So when you connect with someone's energy, this can happen just by thinking about them or being around them. Your energetic fields intermingle. And this is why, after hanging out with certain people, you may feel drained because their energy is doing just that. It's literally draining yours. And I talk about this in my auras video. And they may or may not be aware of it. They may not even know it's happening. There's an energy exchange that's occurring within every single social interaction. We're always sending each other energy, and it can be chaotic, which is what can cause you to feel so drained. And this is often the case with large groups of people. And it doesn't even have to be people who are draining to be around. It can be a group of high vibe people. But the chaos of exchanging energy sporadically can definitely leave you feeling depleted. A practice healer can essentially control this chaos so that they give when they want to rather than sporadically. Lots of highly sensitive people will also wear crystals and other items charged with spirit matter so that instead of diffusing their human life force, the energy gets pulled from the object instead. But external tools are never necessary. They just provide aid. So you don't need them, and it's not really that great to rely on them, but they are great to have. Healers act as a catalyst for energy to be transferred into the recipient. A popular technique is drawing energy inward and channeling it out of the palms. And this is done through breath work and visualization. But you may even be able to physically feel your palms' energy channels through the sensation of heat or vibrations, like those tingles I was talking about. Let's go ahead and discuss a basic healing technique that you can start today. This will kind of help you get into the groove of energy healing so that if you do decide to become a professional energy healer, you'll already kind of have an idea of what you're going to be delving into. So you can practice on any consenting life form, but I found that even practicing on like a glass of water and then drinking that water does wonders. And don't forget to cleanse your space with sage or incense, any cleansing herb for that matter, before and after your session. We are living in an etheric ocean. To give you a visual, when you place a dirty article of clothing in water, what happens to all the dirt? It's lifted from the article of clothing and it floats in the surrounding water. And the same thing happens with energy healing. When you purge yourself of impurities. Those impurities are still present in your surrounding field. When you cleanse yourself, you want to make sure that you don't leave any residual muck that could potentially be reabsorbed, because that would be counterproductive, wouldn't it? Now let's go ahead and get into this energy healing technique. The biggest pro tip I can give you is to trust yourself and your feelings. This is 100% one of our natural gifts, so go with what feels right to you. Even though I can provide you with basic foundational techniques, this is an art form, meaning that it will mold itself into your own unique style as you learn what works for you. So the first tip is to get into a meditative state. Make sure that you and the recipient are comfortable. You may want to take a few deep breaths. You can close your eyes. You can ask the recipient to do the same, and visualize yourself connecting with the divine universal energy field, whatever that looks like to you. You're also welcome to call upon any angels or spiritual guides to be present and assist you, any ancestors, whatever resonates with you. Ultimately, once again, this is your practice. So the next thing you're going to do is place your hands over the area where you intend to send energy. Now, you can either hover your palms over the person or over yourself, or you can place them directly on the body part. This will really depend on the situation, who you're working with. Some people don't like to be touched. If you're working with somebody who wishes to not be touched, just, honor their wishes and hold your hands about 6 inches over their body. Another interesting thing to note about energy healing in the hands in particular, since we're talking about them right now, is whenever you have pain of any kind, be it joint pain or a tummy ache, naturally, the first instinct when feeling pain is to place your hands over the area that feels pain. Like whenever you have a tummy ache, it's natural instinct to want to rub your belly or to touch your belly or to hold and clutch your stomach. It's a natural instinct because you have electromagnetic channels in your hands that are magnetized to places that need to be healed. It's all a technological process. This is something that is inherent to us. It is inherent to our being. So you're going to want to place your hands over the area where you intend to send energy. And once again, you can either hover your palms or you can place them directly onto the body part, but it'll entirely depend upon who you're healing and what the situation is. So next, for those of you that already have a strong intuition, you may start receiving messages about whatever it is that you're healing. So a perfect example, I've picked up like broken bones on people. Even if they don't still have the injury, I've picked up situations where, somebody broke their ankle as a kid, but they still have that energy dis-ease from that broken bone. It's still present even, 5, 10, 15 years later. So when you start receiving messages, even if you think that it sounds weird or too out there and you're afraid to let your person know or let your recipient know what you're experiencing, what you're feeling, have no fear. Oftentimes the intuition is the first thought that comes to mind without any kind of rationalization whatsoever. Just allow yourself to trust your inner feelings, trust your intuition. If you don't receive messages right away, that's fine. It's not a big deal. It doesn't mean you're not healing. It doesn't mean what you're doing isn't working. It's just that some people can really, really tap in and connect to whatever it is that they're healing and even receive visions or, auditory signals like hearing the bones crack. Like I've had situations where I've heard bones crack and that's told me oh, this person broke a bone at some point in their life. Sometimes I'll even feel the pain. If somebody has chronic pain and I'm doing energy work on them, I can feel it in my own body. And that's often where, how I know where I need to heal. If I connect to somebody's auric field with the intention to heal them, my body will start to tell me through its own sensation where I need to go and send energy to. So it'll manifest very differently. So just trust yourself. Just trust what you're receiving. There's no right or wrong way, really. It's kind of something that you feel your way through. So the next step, on an inhale, you're going to visualize the energy being pulled from the crown of your head. And as you exhale, you're going to visualize the energy flowing down and out of your hands and feet. So the idea is to release healing energy into the recipient and to release the unserving energy into the ground in order to be reabsorbed by Mother Earth and transmuted into something high vibrational. So next, just keep your breathing steady. You can continue this same process. If you're doing a full body healing session, just repeat this process around the entire body. I like to start at the feet and work my way up and around because I have a Reiki table and all of that jazz. So I'll usually start at one foot, I'll work my way up one side of the body, go to the head, and then work my way down the other side of the body. But once again, this is an art form. You're going to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. So just kind of repeat this same process of pulling in energy from the crown and releasing it through your hands and feet. That's all you really have to do. It's pretty easy, right? Like, this is something that is supposed to be easy for us. So once you've finished, you're going to want to visualize protection energy enveloping you and the recipient. And you can also visualize any negative energy draining out from you into the ground, because you want to make sure to clear yourself after you've finished healing somebody, because what often happens if you don't, you will kind of retain some of the bullshit. We'll call it bullshit for lack of a better word. Some of the bullshit that you are clearing from them will sometimes get stuck in your own energy field, and then you may manifest those same symptoms, you may manifest those same ailments or similar experiences as a result of retaining their energy. So it's super duper important to clear yourself after every single energy session, guys. This is not something to leave out. This is probably the most important aspect of energy healing, is taking care of yourself and the aftercare that is required with energy healing. You can also visualize roots coming out of the soles of your feet to help ground you, which is the next and last tip. You're going to want to ground you and the recipient. If you're healing somebody else, make sure that you give them time to get up slowly and in their own time. Don't rush them. Don't pressure them. This is a relaxing process, guys. This is not something that is super high strung, like, oh, you have to get up now, we're done. Like, no. This is something that's relaxing. It's supposed to induce feelings of relaxation, not stress. That's the opposite of what we're trying to achieve here. But you are going to want to ground, and you're going to want to tell your recipient to ground as well. So both parties really should drink a glass of water to help this grounding process, because consumption of any kind is grounding. So even eating as well. I always like to keep a glass of water or a bottle of water for my recipient after I'm done healing them, because it helps them come back to the physical realm. Because what's happening is you're kind of, especially if you're going into like a meditative state, you're kind of shifting. You're shifting between realms. There's like a part of you that's got one foot in the spiritual realm where you're doing and conducting this energy work. And then there's a part of you that's like connected to the physical. So you don't really want to maintain, you don't want to stay in that in-between space, because that's where like mental fog can happen. You know, you start to feel like you're drifting off into your head a lot. You don't feel present. You don't feel grounded. All of that stuff. And I talk a little more about grounding in my chakras video. So if you haven't already watched that video, go check it out. So, just be patient, allow the recipient to get up in their own time. It's totally normal to fall asleep afterwards as well. So if you end up finding yourself feeling tired and wanting to take a nap, that's a great idea too. But always, always, always ground and clear yourself after every single energy healing session. That is so, so crucial, so important for this practice. And if you want to boost your healing abilities, you can also practice other healing art forms such as meditation, yoga, and creative visualization. And you're also welcome to incorporate tools such as tarot cards, crystals, chants, yoga poses, and all of that stuff, and develop your own personalized healing practice. So there's like crystal energy healers, there's people who use tarot cards in their energy healing, oracle cards, all of that stuff. They use runes, pretty much anything. Like whatever you feel called to use, follow that inner calling. That is your spirit guiding you towards your own personalized practice. And engaging in other forms of energy healing will naturally boost your ability to heal yourself and others. So what I mean by that is everything is connected, right? So the more you meditate, the more you practice yoga, the more you do creative visualization. If you start getting into tarot card reading, the more you incorporate crystals and all of that stuff, the better you will become at energy healing. of any kind. Because once again, it's all connected. So if you want to boost your energy healing practice, meditate, practice yoga, incorporate chants, and you'll start to see that your ability to heal other people, your ability to pick up messages about other people as you're healing them, will become more refined. It's all a practice. So the more you do it and the more you incorporate it into your lifestyle, the better you will get. But this is something that is inherent to us. This is something that is natural to our being. Every single human being on planet Earth is an energy healer. But not everybody feels called to this path, and that's fine. That's why there are professional energy healers, because not everybody feels called to the path of healing, to the path of connecting spiritually. As this stuff becomes more mainstream, we will see the masses reconnect themselves to this wisdom, and we will see more energy healers arise. We will see more people who are interested in this kind of stuff. But right now, people are still very materially based, and this stuff is still not yet super mainstream. Like it's getting there. It's getting there. But it still kind of has a lot of mystery and ridicule and stuff like that. So I'm here to clear up all that jazz for y'all. And that's why I wanted to make this video. So that is the conclusion of this vlog. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for sticking with me through this series. Once again, if you haven't already watched the other videos and you said fuck it to what I said earlier, go watch those videos, because there's a lot of really compelling information that can be applied to your everyday experience. So thank you so much for supporting this channel. The next series I'm going to be doing is on the tarot cards and the major arcana. We're going to discuss the different suits and all of that, and kind of break down the tarot cards in depth and really talk about them in depth. So that is it for today, guys. Have a beautiful, beautiful rest of your week. Bye-bye.